follow the wizards or the magicians, however you want to call them. Let's start from where we started from. Exodus 7. I'm going to start reading from verses 8. Yah spoke to Moshe and Aaron, saying, when Pharaoh speaks to you, saying, provide a sign for yourselves, you shall say to Aaron, take your staff. So whose staff is being taken here? Is it Moshe or Aaron?
Aaron.
Oh, 1 second. Thank you. So my screen is frozen. Thank you, Mr. Shamsi. Look at it. It says, so it means that Moshe has his staff, Aaron has his staff. They all have walking sticks. At Sinai, when Yah approached Moshe, Moshe did the three signs, or the sign with the snake, the rock turned into the snake. He used his. Here, the instruction is, you, Aaron, Moshe, you shall say to Aaron, take your staff and cast it before Pharaoh. It will become a serpent. So we have two individuals with two different staffs. Aaron has his, Moshe has his. Aaron is using his staff to do this, not this one, but these miracles. It's important. Why was this particular marvel specifically chosen to impress the Pharaoh? We could answer by saying that, well, you come to a strong man's house, you find a strong man, that's good. But what is the scene here? They could have used the first plague, the water turned into blood. They could have used the lice, the frogs, hail, darkness. Why this particular marvel? Finding out why would tell us what is actually happening until the sixth plague. Yah sends these two people to Egypt. Somebody wanted to say something before I... From last week, Pharaoh did not believe Moshe. He went so far as indirectly calling him a false prophet. Now, Moshe has to demonstrate his credentials. In Egypt, they were magicians. They knew the craft. To get in the door, Moshe has to perform a marvel. Yah chooses this one here. Why is that? Because it has a distinctly Egyptian background. Apart from the symbolism that you've all mentioned, involved in turning of the rod into a serpent, this particular marvel that was done here was to the fact that it would be recognizable to not only Pharaoh, but to the wizards. Why do I say that? there is a papyrus called the West Car Papyrus. In this papyrus, there are tales that are told, Egyptian tales. And there's one tale about somebody who turned a wax crocodile into a live one so that he can have vengeance on a man who had an affair with his wife. And then he was able to turn the crocodile back into its original wax state. It's called King Khufu and the Magicians. Those are the tales. So I'll read just a little. When her husband discovered what she had done, I don't know how to pronounce that word, he molded a crocodile, or he modeled a crocodile out of wax, recited the appropriate magic formula, and ordered his steward to throw it into the lake as his wife's lover went to bathe there. When this was done, the wax crocodile was transformed into a live one, which then dragged the offender under the water. When the husband seized the crocodile, it reverted in its hand to its original wax state. Now you would say, Rabbi, it doesn't say snake, it doesn't say serpent, it says crocodile. That makes it more interesting. In Exodus 7, we are told, take your staff and cast it before Pharaoh, it will become a serpent. That is Aaron's staff. In Exodus 4, we read that Yah tells Moshe to cast his staff to the ground, and he said, cast it to the ground, and he cast it to the ground, and it became a serpent, and Moshe fled from before it. Well, the serpent in Exodus 7 is Tanin. The serpent in Exodus 4 is Nahash. They are not the same. I repeat, the serpent in Exodus 7 is Tanin. The serpent in Exodus 4 is Nahash. They're not the same. When we come to Isaiah 27, we see the two words, Tanin and Nahash, used in the same verse. On that day, Yah shall visit with his hard and great and strong sword on Leviathan, the Baal-like serpent, Tanin, and upon Leviathan, the crooked serpent, Tanin is used. And he shall slay the Nahash. The word translated Nahash into English is dragon. That is in the sea. So they're two different things. Ezekiel 29 translates Tanin as crocodile. Look at what it says. Speak, and you shall say, so says Yah Elohim, behold, I am upon you, O Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, the great crocodile that lies down in the midst of its rivers, who said, my river is my own, and I made myself. So we have clearly in Egyptian records their history of tales about someone modeling a crocodile out of wax, reciting some incantations, and the crocodile coming to life. Moshe and Aaron steps up to the plate, and the first thing that Yah asks them to do is to replicate something that Pharaoh is already used to.